Bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. What the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good evening and welcome to Sahlen Stadium for NWSL Soccer tonight. The Western New York Flash play host to the Washington Spirit. I'm Joe Giuliano, along with Andy Evenhouse, sitting in for Mike Kerms. Andy, welcome to the broadcast. It is a gorgeous night for soccer, 66 degrees, blue skies, and two teams battling for 3 valuable points tonight.
Good to be back in the booth and just fantastic. I mean, I tell you, as a referee and as a former player, looking back, you can't draw it up any better than this for looking out over the field today.
The Washington Spirit come in with a record of 3-2-1, 7 former Flash players on their roster. I believe 5 of them are here this evening. Their starting lineup tonight will go with Weiss, one of the former Flash players, in goal. Reynolds, Johnson, Oyster, and Church in the back. Nairn, Salem, Lohman, Dunn, and Huster in the midfield, and Del Rio up top. Mark Parsons is the head coach of the 3-2-1 Washington Spirit, currently in second place with 10 points, just 1 point behind the Chicago Red Stars. For the Western New York Flash, they enter the game with a record of 1-3-1. Well, the goalkeeping dilemma continues for Aaron Lyon's side. It'll be a newcomer in goal tonight. It's Horner starting. The 30-year-old makes her debut with the Western New York Flash. Robin Horner, 30 years old, out of Pennington, New Jersey, coming over from the W League's Charlotte Lady Eagles. In the back, it'll be Edmonds, Dahlkemper, Taylor, and Hinkle. In the midfield, Mewis, Edwards, and Spencer. And up top, Hamilton, Williams, and Fields. And as we mentioned, Aaron Lyons is the head coach of the Western New York Flash. Your officials for this evening: Elvis Mamotovic.
That's correct.
All right.
I love
Assistant
that
referees are Michael Piercy and Lauren Dearman. And your fourth official is David Mon. That is all the particulars this evening from Sahlen Stadium. And Andy, looking over there, and you see some familiar faces in the white tops with the navy blue shorts. Angela Salem heading out onto the field. Huster. A lot of familiar faces on Washington tonight.
Half the team I used to introduce. You love to see Reynolds in the back. Of course, just call her Reynolds. Remember that, too. Don't ever call her the K word. So, but it's nice to see them as they came in earlier this afternoon as well. Western New York Flash South.
That's right. They'll be wearing, again, the white tops, the blue shorts, and the white socks. They'll be attacking the goal to our right. Western New York in their traditional all-red kits for the home matches. It's a first meeting of the season between these two teams. They'll play one more time in mid-August down in Washington. Well, I guess the big headline is really the situation with the goalkeepers for Western New York, and Robin Horner thrown into an emergency situation. You've got D'Angelo, who's out. You've got Jones, who's suspended, so it's a tough situation to jump into.
2 years in a row we have issue, but you move on with what you've got, and They had looked down the line and made a few calls and brought a couple keepers in this week. We had another one that was scheduled to join the team that did not get clearance from the NWSL, so we do have a relative newcomer in Megan Tock also as our backup this evening.
We are underway, third home game of the season for the Western New York Flash. And it's played out of bounds on the near side. Church will throw it in. Fields tries to bring it down, but the Spirit battle for possession. Mewis sticks that long leg in, plays it back to Taylor. She'll go out wide. Edmonds on the ground to Spencer. Spins. It's Hamilton, now to Mewis. Good possession here, finding Fields on the near side. She cuts it back central. Chips it into the box, and Mewis has to hustle. And she will not be able to keep this one in play. It'll be a goal kick coming up for the former Western New York Flash goalkeeper, Kelsey Weiss, the 24-year-old. 10 games in 2014 with Western New York, 1 shutout. And so far this season, this is her 4th appearance with 1 clean sheet. Looking for the short restart, and Jamia Fields breaks that up, so Weiss will stretch out the leg and boom one downfield. Gets this one up to near midfield. Flipped forward by Sahlen. Now finds Dunn. Played it behind DaCosta, but she recovers it again. Still Washington with possession. Angela Sahlen, the midfield motor.
Give him a chance to see what happens.
And off the chest of Dunn, and the flag comes up for offside. Crystal Dunn, pretty interesting story. Played outside back with the U.S. national team, but now she's in a much more attacking role for Mark Parsons' side, and she's having a great season. 4 goals, tied for first with Press, Long, and Huerta. There's Taylor's long kick through the middle of the field, headed away. Now picked up by Nairn. Some heavy touches, loose ball, neatly tucked away, and Edwards gets it to Dahlkemper. Now Edmonds can't get it outside to Hamilton. Broken up by the Spirit. Just 1 point behind Chicago for that first place spot in the NWSL. And Andy, if you look at the standings, with some help tonight and a win, the Flash, they can jump up to a tie for 5th place with Seattle at 7 points.
Well, the way that the whole league has been set up actually with the World Cup this year, everybody's going to pretty much be in the mix, I think, all throughout the year. All the teams pretty much have a nice roster. When you have your superstars, if you want to call them just superstars, and your nationals out of the mix, you're going to see a lot more even play, I think. But, again, it's how they're put together, and I think a lot of the teamwork and how they're going to put these things together throughout the year.
And Costa takes a shot, and Horner gets her first touch on it, and maybe some confidence built there for her. And she gets a hard shot directly driven at her. Here's Sahlen, her 7th appearance of the season.
But I'm going to print those shirts tomorrow.
She went over with Reynolds in exchange for Angeli and a first-round pick in the 2015 draft. Played back to Weiss.
I can.
Standout at Florida State University. Now Huster. Church.
We haven't seen the aim.
Steps on it, plays it back to Huster, the captain for Washington. She'll switch the rental play to the far side. It will get there. It's Nairn now. Looking for Dunn. Dahlkemper nicely steps in. And Edwards plays it forward, Hamilton. She's got a little bit of space, pressure coming from behind. Gets it to Williams. Here's Mewis. Fields, corner of the 18. Takes a touch. She'll go one-on-one. Top shot, and that is off the mark. Not too far off the mark there. Good driven shot there from Becky Edwards, the 27-year-old.
Just a little under the kick there. His hit coming through, but looking in the right spot. Nice spot to put the ball in there by Fields.
We are in the 5th minute, scoreless. First meeting of the season between Washington and Western New York. Good strong win in the air by Becky Edwards. Fields hustles to keep it in play and barely over the line. Church. Throw in on the near side for The Washington Spirit, who are 1-2-1 away from home. Ooh, dangerous ball intercepted by Williams. Pickpockets the pass away from Church, and this one's given up as Washington can come forward with Estelle Johnson, another familiar name for fans here in Western New York. Nairn's seen a lot of the ball here early on. Plays it back to Johnson. Drives it forward for Dunn. Edwards just gets the foot in there. Now played back to Taylor. Dahlkemper. Horner outside to Dahlkemper. She'll work the far side, no one there. As Estelle Johnson looking for Huster and Spencer. Normally we've seen Jasmine as that front runner with that blazing speed, but kind of tonight and this season. And there's one of the runs we've talked about. Getting in behind the defense is Spencer. Good battle there with Oyster. And Oyster comes away with it.
Yeah, Jasmine Moore is attacking midfield. That's the position that Coach Lyons wanted to put her in, try something a little different to spark the offense.
Quick throw in from Dunn. And a little push from behind on Nairn, and it'll be quickly taken by the Flash.
Hey, I'll listen to you, but no gesturing.
Here's Mewis. Loose ball picked up by Huster, looking to go quickly upfield, but no one on the end of it. DaCosta. Played behind Church, and the Flash will pick up a throw-in. Western New York 1-1 on home turf. And Andy, if you look at their goals against this season, 8 goals against, but 5 of those came against Seattle. And they've allowed 1 or fewer goals in their last 4 games played. So defensively, things have gotten to be on the right page.
Yeah, that opening trip to the West Coast was tough. We have a lot of new players, and it was good to get them out and a team building experience. Obviously, the first one hurt, but other than that, I think once they've got together, they've realized what they have, and they've got their positions down and realized what each is going to do for the other.
Here's Dunn looking for one, and it'll run out of play. Throw-in coming up here for Hinkle, the 21-year-old, the number 7 overall pick out of Texas Tech University. Good long throw. Over the head of Williams. Huster will come back to play it to Estelle Johnson. Washington coming off a 1-0 win on May 16th against Sky Blue Ordega with the goal in the 92nd minute. After a 25-minute weather delay, Weiss had 8 saves in that game. Spirit back in action on June the 6th against Boston. This one, a little too much pace on it for Dunn, and it'll be Horner to pick it up. Horner, no stranger to the pro game, played with Philadelphia in the WPS. Also played at Rutgers for 2 years, now the head coach of the women's team at Pfeiffer University. Dunn is played on sides. Low cross, through the box. Let through, diving save from Horner, and she comes up big.
That's the way to get your first save at the NWSL. You'll see that Washington's going to attack mostly on the far wings, and they're going to go through Nairn and Dunn throughout most of the evening and sort of siphon everybody onto the outside and then bring the ball back through on a cross like that.
Here's a quick look at it. Dunn serving it through the box. Sahlen setting her up. Well done. As Horner gets a good taste of one early on. Crossed into the box, headed away by Mewis. Here's Dunn again. She has been busy early on. And Horner, sun in her eyes, makes the save in the 10th minute. It could easily be 1-0 Washington. But Robin Horner coming up big. Up to the far side, headed back into the Flash half of the field. Edmonds will chase it down and let it roll out of play. Throw-in coming up here for Western New York. And we'll go back the other way for Washington.
Still think Crystal Dunn is a surprising omission from the women's national team, although we do have quite a bit of talent where she is playing, and obviously going down the line, she'll be a major player with the national team. But I do think the way the team is set up now, it looks like they're going to go for one last run at the Cup.
And Williams is going to go for a run. Williams still in the box, dribbles the keeper, shot, and a goal! Lynn Williams makes it 1-0 Western New York.
The Pepperdine graduate now, as she had gone back to school. That's why she didn't get some of her early time with us and didn't start on the early games with the Flash. Finishes on a perfect play through and does a nice touch around the goalie and slots another one in for her goal.
A good give, or actually a bad giveaway for Washington. Good giveaway for the Flash, leading to this goal in the 11th minute. And here it is, Andy, starting up at midfield, loose ball, and just touched forward nicely, and Williams does the rest of the work. Opens up her scoring account with the Western New York Flash. First goal for Lynn Williams in the 11th minute. Congratulations. As Dunn comes back the other way, a shot. And a good look at it from distance by Horner. Lynn Williams, earlier in some of the home games that we've seen, has put herself in great positions to score goals. She was just unlucky, couldn't finish. Now, maybe the floodgates open as she finds the back of the net in this third home game of the season. There's Williams, pass was intercepted. Huster to Johnson. Now they'll come out to the near side, Oyster. Cuts it back to Weiss, who was left standing there, then went down, and Williams neatly dribbled around her and tucked it in the empty net. Lynn Williams, the number 6 overall pick in the 2015 draft. Oyster, Sahlen, quick touches to DaCosta. Back to Weiss. Show work Johnson. Washington with a lot of possession, but it's deep in their own half.
They just want to keep knocking it around. They look very deliberate, and again, I think already just going in that the Flash has had an idea of what they were going to do in the previous games, and are already sort of sitting back and waiting for them to come to them.
Mark Parsons has a few players off the bench and warming up already here in the 13th minute. Dahlkemper. Good little turn there by Edmonds. Spencer. Nudged off the ball by Huster, and it'll be a throw-in coming up for the Flash. Huster, the 25-year-old, has got 2 yellow cards on the season, 6 games played. That's right near the top of the NWSL rankings for that, Mark.
Always one of our toughest players when she was back here with the Flash. It was always good for one of those.
Spencer goes down, and restart coming up here for Western New York, just inside the Washington half. Flash will be home Saturday, June the 6th against Chicago. They'll be right here at Sahlen Stadium. The Red Stars and Mr. Dames, 3-0-2 with 11 points after 5 games played so far.
They do look good.
Always a tough team.
And they are not built around superstars over the years, but they do know how to put it together. Again, I think sometimes that's the thing that people don't realize. You've got more of the teamwork and the way the teams are built, and the teams that are played together do much better than the superstars coming in here and there.
Hats off to Rory Dames for building a solid team year in and year out, and so far paying off for our friends in the Midwest. Sahlen flicked onto the near side. Church. Back to DaCosta. Crosses midfield, looks, swings one across, and didn't get the angle she wanted, and Robin Horner will pick it up in her own 18. Dahlkemper, Ewis go back and forth. Long ball looking for Hamilton, who's on that right side, early on at least. Played back to Dahlkemper. Goes back and forth with Horner. She's in for Sabrina D'Angelo, who had a collision with Liz Bogus and a shoulder injury. Also broke her nose on the play as well. she's out for a bit, and Williams turning on the Jets here against Johnson. Unable to get on the end of that one. So a nasty collision, sending out the 22-year-old Canadian, Sabrina D'Angelo. Mewis almost threads the needle looking for Hamilton. Hamilton has been a busy one early on. Done. The flag just comes up. Referee's assistant maybe a little behind the play and hesitated, but he did raise the flag. You're a referee. What do you think about that call?
I think he got it right, but you never know with Crystal Dunn. She can turn the Jets on as well as Lynn Williams, but the difference there is you just look at the difference in the size. And Lynn Williams also a world-class track athlete. And the thing is, you put the ball anywhere near in play to Lynn Williams, and she 9 out of 10 times is going to beat the defender.
It'll be a restart for the Flash. So 2 speedsters to look out for. Williams for the Flash and Dunn for Washington. Crystal Dunn, 22 years old. The Herman Trophy winner at the University of North Carolina. Oyster. DaCosta. Oyster drives it forward and Dunn again. Flag comes up. She's in behind the Flash defense. We're in the 17th minute. Lynn Williams with the goal. Her first as a professional.
I think they're going to test the back line as much as they possibly can. All you need is one through, and Crystal Dunn is going to slot most of those back in the hit mesh every time she gets by.
Yeah, Dunn has played 6 games. She's been offsides 7 times coming into tonight. I believe she's got 3 early on. But Allie Long still way, way ahead of her with 17 after 5 games played. Getting in behind the defense. But you know what? They always say, Andy, you might be offsides 3 or 4 times, but that one time you're not,
that's all you need.
That's all you need. Over the head of Spencer. Estelle Johnson plays it outside. Lohman's first touch of the game, gets it back. Spins away from pressure. For Dunn again, and it's a lonely task for her. She's going to be 1v2, 1v3 for most of the night. As you broke down the formations, it was Dunn up top and nobody else.
That's where you have to take the foul, though, too. If you're in midfield, you're really not giving up much, especially when you have no one behind you. If you're going to defend that way, you're better off giving up that early foul and letting your team get back and set up and get right back into their shape.
And the Flash come with a quick counterattack led by Mewis. And Fields gets a shot deflected over the end line. And it'll be our first corner kick of the game, or second corner kick of the game. It'll come on the near side for Western New York. Abby Dahlkemper trots over. It's not Dahlkemper, it's Edwards. Trots over to take it. Fields showing for the short corner, draws 2 defenders out. Opens up a little space inside the Washington box. Driven ball into the box. Headed and deflected to the far side of the 18.
I don't know. They're from Kansas City.
Weiss was caught in a tough spot there. Came and then stopped.
I know the Alberta, Alaska people.
Nairn. Onto the near side, DaCosta. And Hinkle hustles back. It will reach corner barely, and she knocks it downfield. Sahlen flicks it on, stopped by Edwards. Spencer.
That's the name of the
Good
band.
touch and gets it outside.
Being like, clever.
Edmonds. Hamilton. Marked by Reynolds. Good defending, forcing Hamilton back to Edmonds. Crossed into the box. Fields with the header. Not on frame. Loose ball. Hamilton can't pull the trigger and cleared out of danger by Washington.
Getting quite a few players into the box there, and more than they had seemed to be in the last few games, although the last home game against Kansas City, it seemed like we had a lot more offense. Today, it looks like he's definitely going to go for the win and just start playing a more offensive style here, which is a little different than Coach Lyons usually plays.
With that last replay, Fields got on the end of the header, but good work there from Kristen Edmonds. And that service from the far side. Dunn. Pass for her is intercepted. Looking for Fields, a heavy touch And Washington has it with Sahlen. To the far side for Nairn. Crystal Dunn again just patrolling that last line of defense for the Flash, looking to get in behind. There's Sahlen. Stood up there nicely by Edwards. Mewis. A high chip looking for Hamilton. And Weiss will come off her line to pick it up. Two other games in the NWSL tonight. FC Kansas City hosting Chicago, and Portland playing host to the Houston Dash at Providence Park. One game last night, Boston and Sky Blue, a 1-1 draw. McCaffrey got the equalizer in the 60th minute after Friels opened the scoring in the 8th minute for Sky Blue.
Another former Flash player.
They're all over the place.
And Katie Frierson,
Yeah.
when she was here, though. She has been
unbelievable.
married since then.
Unbelievable.
They've all played for us.
Put this camera on sticks up
Good checking back from Amanda DaCosta. As Sahlen finally gets it onto the near side. Church was open. Flicks it into space for Dunn. Crosses, deflected, and then picked up. And what is the call here, Andy?
They're going to call handling on Becky Edwards.
Handball call. The referee points to the spot. Christine Nairn will come over for the penalty.
You can see Becky's arm came up and away from the body, made contact in the box. And, of course,
Good to have an official up here because I didn't see the handball.
that's one of those that sometimes you're going to get it, sometimes you're not. It is by book, would be a penalty shot.
Nairn with 3 goals on the season. Steps up to the spot. Nairn against Horner. Here's the whistle. Lines up. Fires. Goal. On the PK, Nairn equalizes in the 22nd minute. And that is her 4th goal of the season. Here's a look at that whole sequence, starting with the handball call against Becky Edwards. And Andy Evenhouse, our referee slash color commentator, great eye to spot this one.
You see as the ball comes across, it's going to get a connection. It comes off her foot up to the air, and it connects with the arm away from the body. Again, not a natural position, and that's where you're going to get the call.
You know, got to be honest, I don't know if I like that call. I saw it against USA against Mexico. Same thing, off the defender's foot, hit her hand. PK call, Wambach scored. It's such a tough call. Sometimes you don't see it called.
You don't, and the thing is, again, sometimes it's the score.
Yeah,
It's
true.
6-0, and you're not going to get that call. And that's where you, as an official, is going to walk over and say, hey, guys, you understand what's going on, correct? And it happens. Whether it's right or wrong, we don't know, but it does happen.
That's where FIFA, the world governing body, maybe needs to come in and set some rules or establish some sort of standard for all referees.
Well, they do want to go back to if it plays off the hand to the shoulder, it will become a PK. That is being kicked around. And again, USSF, FIFA, all talking about it. And that is where they are looking to go.
Again, that's when I've seen 50% called, 50% not called, but it doesn't matter at this point as Washington can celebrate with Nairn's 4th of the season. 2 of her 4 goals coming in the home opener against Kansas City. But in the 22nd minute, she gets the equalizer, and we are tied now 1-1, Washington and Western New York. And you nailed it on the head. Crystal Dunn has been a part of 95% of the Spirit attack.
Dunn and Nairn all throughout the year already, and that's what we talked about earlier, that is where they're going to go through. And if you're not ready to mark them, they are going to beat you.
Players missing for Washington on national team duty. Ashlyn Harris. Matheson is with the Canadian national team. Krieger with the U.S. Ortega with Nigeria. And everybody's in behind, but Church on a delayed run stays on sides. Gets the cross, but deflected away by Hinkle and cleared. That delayed run kept everything alive.
Whitney Church made a nice run out of the right side there. The 2 offensive players were in offside position, never played, never got involved, and the AR made a great call in letting the play run through.
Flash also have their share of national team players on duty. LaRue, Ingen, and then, of course, the injuries we talked about, suspensions. Aaron Lyons has many, many things to deal with here tonight. Corner kick for Sahlen. Interesting setup here. 4 players on this near side. Trying to get it back into Sahlen, and it's cleared away. That is a unique set piece. In 19 years of covering soccer, I've never seen 4 players over for a short corner. See if they can try to pull it off again. Maybe it's something I could use with my teams. Always looking to steal from clever coaches, Mark Parsons being one of them.
Anything to show a different look when you're out there, and no matter what age group it is.
Absolutely. Lohman forced back by Spencer to Johnson. Johnson going over to Washington in a trade for Tony Presley, who's since been moved on as well. Church about 30 yards ahead of where the initial throw-in should take place. And she'll get a chance to do it again. We're in the 27th minute. 1-1. Williams for the Flash in the 11th minute, and Nairn on a PK in the 22nd minute for Washington. There's Dunn. Williams comes back to break it up. Fields, Mewis, and Church will deny the attack. Estelle Johnson. Lohman, Johnson, Nairn. Now Seattle or Washington with some confidence here. Looking at Nairn's notes, he was a draft pick of Seattle back in 2013. There's the throw into Dunn. She has been all over the field. Let's see if she can continue this impressive work rate throughout the full 90. Oyster, the 22-year-old out of UCLA, will chip it back into the middle of the field. Nairn, a nice little touch to Sahlen. She goes outside, but it's read nicely there by Edmonds. She'll push forward now for Western New York. Cuts it back. And Dunn is there to break it up. Driving at the Flash defense. Dunn goes outside. Lohman not going to get there with the pace of that one. And it'll be out of play. Throw-in coming up for Western New York.
Going back to Megan Oyster, fantastic in the back, and maybe not thought of is going to be one of the starters at the start of the year for Washington. But again, that UCLA group that graduated this year was just amazing. I mean, obviously with our two, but just that the draft was laden with UCLA Bruins.
A tremendous program. As Dunn is with it, corner of the 18, crossed in, and no one there but Hinkle. By the way, Andy, happy first annual Women's Football Day.
I was waiting for that. I was. I'm not sure what to get my wife yet, but I'll sure have it when I get home.
You still got about 4 or 5 hours.
Yes, it's a long trip home.
Headed back into the arms of Weiss through the initiative of Women's Football Day, CONCACAF. Trying to accomplish a couple things, generate awareness about the power of women's football for girls and women, promote and encourage continued investment in women's football, and unite every member association in creating a memorable day of women's football. So happy Women's Football Day. And it's kicked off with 3 NWSL games and just on the eve of the Women's World Cup as well.
It's just a great thing to have it this close, being in Canada. And again, it's always interesting when people speak of going to a foreign country. And with us in the West New York region, it's that close to be to Canada. Sometimes it's a farther trip, and it is an international thing, but it's great that it's close enough for a lot of people to have the access to get up to Canada in 2015.
The only issue is 2 games in Winnipeg, 1 in Vancouver, as Church gets across into the box corner there to make the save.
I know the people in North Dakota are happy about
Yeah.
Winnipeg.
A little bit of work for us here in Western New York to get there in the northeast of the U.S.
Actually, Coach Klitnovich's wife is from North Dakota, so I know they have a bit of a presence there in that area.
U.S. kicking off on June 8th. Spencer, wow, she got up high for that one. She's taken down, no call made. They'll play Australia out of Group D. We'll have one more tune-up on May 30th against the Korea Republic. Spencer still working on this one. Williams back to Hamilton. Fights for it, broken up. Sahlen to Dunn. Fights off the challenge of Taylor. Church knocks one forward, headed away by Hinkle. Washington working the near side. Dunn gets it forward. Hinkle has to sprint this one down. And she'll play it back to Horner. In the 31st minute. Joe Giuliano and Andy Evenhouse on the call. Hope you're enjoying our coverage of NWSL soccer on a beautiful evening at Sahlen Stadium. We are even at 1.
It's interesting to see how long Coach Parsons will stay in the same attacking style. He takes it through the half, and because that's what the game plan was going in. But they seem to be stifled coming through the middle. Just were almost at not a flat back four, but where they seem to be reading into what Washington's going to do every time they touch the ball.
Here's Oyster. Forceful pass to Sahlen, and then she has to follow Jasmine Spencer. And Jasmine wants a yellow card, and it looks like she's going to get it. She wants a yellow card issued to Oyster, and it's exactly what we see. Here's a look at it, Andy, on our
definitely
scoreboard.
A tactical foul right in the middle again. That's where you want to take the foul, but you don't want to grab the shirt. Sometimes they're too obvious, and sometimes it's that obvious that you do have to go and book the player.
Oyster picks up the yellow in the 32nd minute. There's Andy again, the official clarification. We have to go far, right? Sit right next to me every game.
They usually keep me over on the far side of the stadium.
We got to chase you down for explanations. There's Taylor. Top of the 18, Spencer. Outside to Hamilton now. Hamilton, left-footed shot is high and off the mark.
She looked at one time that with a right foot. I don't know if she didn't think she had the angle, but she looked like she was going to strike and took an extra touch and brought it in. Probably should have just put it right on the frame.
It'll be Weiss on the goal kick in the 33rd minute. Western New York, a scoreless draw against May the 14th, I should say, their last game. First shutout of the season for them as well. 21 total fouls in that game at Kansas City.
Quite a few cards in that Kansas City away game as well.
You referees love that.
Well, speaking to Coach Clinton, he was not happy with the way the game was controlled with the cards. That's the feeling that they got coming out of that. Of course, it's never the referee's fault. But
coming from an official.
Exactly.
A high-ranking official, by the way.
Is he coming later?
Okay. Oh, he's here.
Let him know I need games. Okay.
I'm looking at him. He's right next to me. Here's Sahlen. Huster. Nairn. Now Sahlen. Far side for Nairn. Corner of the 18. Footwork and a good challenge from Hamilton. Takes it away. Spencer spins away from pressure. Crossing midfield, Jasmine Spencer. Williams. Spencer goes down. Williams still with it. 1v2, her shot. Blocked and trickles away over the end line for a corner kick for the Western New York Flash.
One touch too much from Spencer coming through. Williams had to hold the run at one point. The defenders both stopped, and she basically had to put her run back in and had to go back into third gear after going as a bolt right through and go through. I think we might have a different situation there.
Result is a corner kick for Becky Edwards. Gives the signal. On the far side, Edwards will step into it. A high delivery. Headed down, Mewis, and cleared off the line. The referee's assistant has his flag raised, and it's a goal. It's a goal for the Western New York Flash. No hesitation by Lauren Dearman, the referee's assistant on the far side. And if I'm not mistaken, Mewis should get credit for the goal.
I could not tell if there was a deflection while watching the replay, but the assistant referee, Lauren Dearman, precisely where she belongs. Perfect mechanics. Flag up, balls completely over the line, eyes to the referee, and move yourself up the line, and we have a goal for the Flash.
It indeed is Mewis, her second goal of the season. Edwards on the corner kick gets her second assist of the season. And time of that Flash goal, minute number 35. 2-1, Western New York. And there was no hesitation at all by the assistant to raise the flag and help out the man in the middle. Taylor clears this one into the crowd. And throw-in coming up here for Church. 36th minute. Lohman. Done. She's been good so far and continues to be. Good cross into the box. Oh, Nairn had a good look at it, just couldn't get her head on it.
Dunn just does so well with the ball at her feet. It's almost like having that yo-yo where you don't think it's going to have a little touch, and she just keeps it right there and uses the body so well.
Well, if 2015 isn't her year for the U.S. women's team, 4 years down the line, look for her to be a big part of it. She has looked real good tonight. Here's Williams. Edwards, no choice but to pound it downfield and push it back into the Washington half.
Mewis was making her way back up the field at the time. There's no way she was going to get that. Just a little too far through. Right thought, and just coming back the wrong way there with Samantha Mewis.
Goal kick for Weiss. We're in the 37th minute. Western New York has come back to take a 2-1 lead after giving up an equalizer on a PK. And Mewis, such a presence in the box, 5'11", a great target player on these restarts.
Just you could see her there in that situation, obviously towering over Dunn and Angela Salem there.
Throw in here for Church, a 22-year-old out of Penn State, a two-time Big Ten Defender of the Year. As we're throwing taken away by Fields. Sent forward, looking for Williams. Oyster, calm and cool, breaks it up. DaCosta keeps it in play. Taken away by Hinkle on the flash. Jamia Fields. Played behind Mewis, Salem. Dunn. Looking to thread the needle again on a through ball, but nicely broken up by Dahlkemper. She's been good in the back. Lohman. Gets it back from Nairn. Lohman, the 32-year-old. Spent 2 seasons with Washington. Gets it to Nairn. Now Huster. Splits 2 players. Good ball by Salem outside. Looking for Reynolds, and she'll run out of space. Throw-in coming up in the 39th minute for the Western New York Flash. Congratulations to Chicago Red Stars forward Sofia Huerta, the NWSL Player of the Week for Week 6. Had her second 2-goal performance of the season to help the Red Stars avoid defeat and get a 2-2 draw on the road at Houston. Hamilton is fouled on the far side by Nairn, and Western New York will have a chance to settle things down and get a restart.
Try to play an advantage and let it come through, and then nothing came out of it, so we come back to the original foul. Talking about Abby Dahlkemper, it's nice to see her back where she, to me, belongs, in more of a central defending role. We tried her more in an attacking midfield role, and that's really not what she had done over the years at UCLA. She could play whatever she wants. She could play any position when we put her there. But I think now that she's back more in a familiar position, she's going to do much better. At least, again, with this many rookies on our team this year, it's something I think that is definitely going to help.
Very comfortable, very strong. It is a central defender. Spencer tried to wind up with a bomb from 30 yards away and had it go off the side of her foot in the 40th minute. Weiss sets it up for a Washington goal kick. Some birthdays celebrating tonight. A big one especially, right?
Yeah, striker.
The mascot for the Flash.
Who would have known?
I see a lot of different mascots all over the building. I see them getting ready for a little halftime activity on the far side there.
Most mascots don't like to reveal their age either. That's why it's actually surprising that he let us celebrate tonight.
It's a big one. May the 23rd, Striker's birthday.
I did see Sabretooth in earlier.
Yeah, Sabretooth is there. There's the Moose from the hockey team in town as well here in Rochester. Buffalo Sabres mascot.
I believe the Nighthawks mascot was here early. But I believe he's got to go over to the game tonight.
The Moose mascot, by the way, the Rochester Americans mascot.
As opposed to the guy from Manitoba. the Moose.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that's clear. I haven't been at an Americans game in a while.
Well, our producer is kindly reminding me that's the team we used to work for.
Is that the American Moose?
Yes, Rochester
Okay.
Americans.
The American Moose.
Ball into space for Dunn. Horner off her line. Dunn dribbles around, but Hinkle is there to nudge her off the ball. Great job by Jaylene Hinkle. Horner got caught at the top of the 18. Nothing she could do. She was flat-footed, but Hinkle never quit on the play.
She did force Dunn to make a little bit of a wide turn coming through, and I think that helped Hinkle get back into the play.
Great work from Hinkle, the 21-year-old. Lohman, a high one, outside for Reynolds. And it'll go off of the Flash defender. It'll be corner kick coming up as Nairn will march over to take it in the 43rd minute. We are looking at a 2-1 Flash score.
It's interesting to see Edmonds let that ball run out of play. I think she thought it had a deflection. Hard to tell from this side of the field, but I think Kristen thought that it was going to come out as a goal kick.
Now Washington has 3 players on that far side setting up for the corner kick. We'll see if they go to the bag of tricks. Nope, it'll be driven into the box. Huster off her shin, but deflected the wrong way. Hamilton. Dunn challenging. Hamilton still fighting through. And foul called on the Flash. Restart coming up here for Washington.
I think Becky may have fouled Kristen Hamilton there.
I agree with that. It's not very often I agree with a referee. I agree with you.
Both got down with the boots a little high there, so I think the referee just wanted to go a little safe there.
44th minute, Nairn sets up for the restart. Nairn coming over from Seattle for the rights to Scottish international Kim Little. Steps into this one. Little chip into the box. Mewis again wins it in the air. Now she gets it on the turf and finally clears it away for Western New York. 44th minute, 2-1 Western New York. Lohman. Reynolds back to Nairn. There's Sahlen, finds a little pocket in midfield. Able to turn and work this near side. Da Costa. Oyster. Long for Salem. Headed away by Mewis. Picked up by Washington. Dunn. Stood up nicely there by Edwards. Long ball. Weiss. She'll get there before Williams. We're in the 45th minute. Hinkle. Heads it. Picked up by Washington. Dunn again. And the flag comes up, and that time I thought she was even with the line of defense.
He definitely had about a half a step coming back. Again, that's a lot of times when you see the player coming back from an offside position, you don't always see it, but if the ball is played at that point, that's where the referee is going to judge.
Good clarification once again. I thought it was close, and Andy said yes, it was, but this is why it was offsides. You're pretty good at what you do.
I'm all right.
Taylor in the 45th minute. Steps in, her classic long delivery. Headed away by Reynolds. Picked up by Nairn, and Huster will go forward to Lohman. 1 minute of stoppage time. Dunn sprinting down the far side. Dahlkemper after her. Dunn edging in. Dahlkemper pokes it out, and a corner kick coming up for Washington.
Well played, a little hand check coming down, enough where you can get away with it, not the jersey pull, and got the long reach in just to knock the ball back in for the corner kick.
Well, no secret, in the first 45 minutes, Dunn has given the Flash defense a handful to deal with. But Hinkle has been strong. Dahlkemper has been up to the challenge as well. Here's Salem's delivery on the corner kick. Top of the 18, and the volley by Lohman is up and off the mark.
The deliveries have been fairly good on the corner kicks, but they're just a little too high where they're not getting a good spot to either have the ball volley or to get a head on it. They're coming in almost at knee height, and it's just not a good productive way to put the ball into play, and we just can't get anything there for Washington.
And on the goal kick, the official will bring first half action to a close. Well, goals on a PK, corner kick. We've seen a little bit of everything here in the first 45 minutes, Andy. The Flash will go into the locker room with a 2-1 lead thanks to Williams and Mewis. After 45 minutes of play, Western New York 2, Washington 1. This is the Western New York Flash Broadcast Network.
Great Taste has landed. Sahlen's great tasting hot dogs and deli meats now available across New York State.
Your mornings rock.
You think your mornings are crazy? Look who I have to work with every day.
16 years with you, and you're not gorgeous.
But it's fun.
I'm a young guy in my 20s. I live in the city of Rochester, and you usually catch me in the East End between here and here.
A wise man once told me, if it smells like garbage plate, eat it.
Make the switch to the all-new Breakfast Buzz with Spasano and Sandy, and all kinds of rock all day on 98.9 The Buzz.
The Radio Press Box with Scott Petoniak and Dan Borello.
As a Bills fan, I don't know about you, Scott. It bothers me because, hey, that's what we're known for. Snow and being obnoxious.
I just don't understand why a person will get totally schnockered to the point, Dan, where the next day they won't even be able to tell you if Jack Kemp or E.J. Manuel is at quarterback. I mean,
weekday afternoons from 3 to 7.
Sports sounds better here.
95.7 ESPN.
Second half action about to begin at Sahlen Stadium. Western New York 2, Washington 1. Joe Giuliano along with Andy Evenhouse says second half getting underway with a kickoff for the visitors from Washington. It'll be Dunn and Nairn to do the honors. Recapping your scoring in the first half, in the 11th minute, Williams got the flash on the board. And then in the 22nd minute, Nairn on a PK got her 4th of the season. Then in the 35th minute, Mewis, a header on a corner kick off the service from Edwards. Referee's assistant deemed that it did cross the line, and that's where we stand after 45 minutes of play. No changes to either side as we begin half number 2. Western New York in the all red attacking the goal to our right.
I think we'll see in the first 5 minutes where if they're going to change the formation, if Coach Parsons decides he's going to go back and try and definitely come back and at least take a point out of this, or if he's just going to concede and just sort of hope for another penalty shot.
Here's Mewis playing it back to Horner. Your thoughts on her debut with the Flash tonight?
Very interesting. I met her on Thursday, and she was very excited. She had come from Charlotte and just definitely wanted to get back into the action. She had spent some time with Philadelphia in the WPS, she had told me, and it's nice to see her get right back in that first shot. She made a great save.
Big save. And that was a big one for her and her confidence as well. Is Sahlen.
I'm sure that doesn't mean anything.
Hard pressure coming from Mewis, and she'll gather the attention of the official, and it'll be a restart coming up as Sahlen down holding her left ankle, it appears, or left shin.
I ran over my dogma.
Mewis came in hard on the challenge. 7 former players overall on this Washington Spirit team. Harris, Huster, Johnson, Perez, Reynolds, Salem, and Weiss. Washington with some injuries already. You've got Banini with a right knee injury. She's had surgery for that. Dinah Matheson, left knee ACL surgery. So we've had some bumps and bruises. Estelle Johnson playing with a left hamstring strain. Laura Del Rio, who's warming up right now, has a right hamstring strain. You can see her right thigh heavily bandaged as she's trying to loosen up along the sidelines. And a little payback on the foul as Mewis gets dumped. And we'll come back the other way with the Flash. Their injuries. Angeli out with a right ankle sprain. We talked about D'Angelo, the shoulder injury. There's Taller. Headed away by Reynolds. Lohman to Huster. Nairn, offsides flag comes up again on Dunn as she looks up in the air and just looking for that one more break, that one opportunity.
Always pushing that line, looking to get free. That's Dunn's forte, and she's going to keep doing it until she gets through.
Dunn has been good so far. The first overall pick in the 2014 NWSL draft. Hinkle, low cross, gets it to Spencer. Just swiped away by Megan Oyster at the last second.
She's got that wicked left foot, Jaylene Hinkle, and that's exactly where you want to serve the ball. You want to put it to someone where you can actually play the ball and either give it to somebody else or at least put it down to your feet and get a quick shot.
Here's a throw in for Hinkle. Williams back to Hinkle, a high cross that barely gets into the 18, and Salem will swipe at it over to the far side. DaCosta, and her clearance rolls out of play. It'll be throw in coming up for the Flash. The 8 o'clock game, Kansas City and Chicago, in a lightning delay, at least for 15 minutes, they're saying. They should be kicking off any second now unless the severe weather has continued in Kansas City. Off the foot of Dunn. Hard challenge there, DaCosta. And she knocks it out of play. Hinkle will have a throw-in coming up here for the Flash. Jaylene Hinkle, 6th appearance of the season. Member of the U.S. under-23 pool.
I am now. Suddenly I have a taste for buzzard.
Nice little flick from Williams to Hamilton. Hamilton's been a bit quiet. We've seen her in a couple of the home games there. She was a terror up and down the field, but tonight, not as involved as we've seen in the past.
It looks like they flip-flopped. Jamia Fields has come over to the right side, and it looks like they're going to try and mess with Washington and see if they're going to notice the difference in the play. And Jamia will have a little bit of a different presence over on the right side, maybe freeing up Hamilton on the left to work off of Hinkle.
Good move by Coach Lyons. And good pressure from Williams, forcing Johnson back to Weiss. And Lyons has been through it all with this club. WPS, WPSL, W League, you name it. He's been a part of it. Edwards, back to Dahlkemper. She'll work it all the way back to Robin Horner, the 30-year-old, who was making her debut with the Western New York Flash.
She actually started as a freshman and played as a sophomore, as a starter with Rutgers back in her days with the Scarlet Knights.
There's Dunn. Taylor outside to Hamilton. Hamilton marked by Church. Hinkle knocks one forward. Oyster off the chest. Lynn Williams, good pressure, wins it back for the ladies in red. Onto the near side. Edmonds. Into space for Spencer, just a little too far.
Right play looking through Spencer, making the run through, just a little too long.
Spencer stretched out that leg to get a piece of it, just couldn't get it there.
That's where you see with Spencer playing sort of underneath the three forwards and gives her that chance to make those runs through it and hopefully catch the Spirit off guard.
Dunn played it back to DaCosta, but Mewis and Sahlen will battle for this one. Sahlen gets it back to Johnson. Reynolds. Johnson pressured by Williams. Plays it off of her foot. The pressure of Williams winning that throw in for Western New York.
Those are those small things that you don't see on the card at the end of the day as far as stats, but the pressure and really comparable to someone like an Angela Sahlen who did that for years with us.
And that other one, number 7, McCall something or other.
I've heard of her.
Yeah, decent player.
She was all right. Wasn't she the captain? I think she was.
McCall Zerboni now in Portland. And look at our cameraman on the field. Shawnee, camera in one hand, catches the ball on the fly. That's talent.
It was kicked to me by the opposite team.
Rumors that that'll be on YouTube in about 3 minutes.
Let's hope so.
And that may take long for that.
That was a great bit of camera work and athleticism by our musician cameraman, Sean. Here's Fields. Left-footed cross. Hamilton, shot. Good save there from Weiss. Well, we talked about Hamilton being quiet. No more.
Sometimes you just move around a different spot in the field and you don't see that person and your defender doesn't make sure that they know what the player's going to do normally. You're going to see Fields, and Fields is going to do this, and all of a sudden, in your second half, you see somebody different, and you're not ready for it, and those are the things that happens. And again, it's the little technical moves. But those are the big things sometimes, especially when you have a low-scoring game, that might be the difference in a game.
Good opportunity. Give Weiss credit as well for the big save.
Yeah, Kelsey Weiss played square to the ball, played exactly what she needed to do, and just kept her eye on it, and just made the move where she had to go to keep the ball out of the net.
There's Williams. 1v3.
Good point, Lee.
Outside to Hamilton. Now Edwards. Lets it roll through. Lohman comes away with it. Nairn. Good touch forward. Dunn is in. Takes a touch into the 18. Dunn on her left foot. Shot. Goal! Taylor tried to push her out wide, but there was a big gap that Horner left, and Dunn found it in the 55th minute.
25 yards out. Crystal Dunn actually did feel the pressure from Brittany Taylor, went a little bit to the left, but I believe that also pulled the keeper out, and she took a little bit too much of a step to her right, leaving a bit much of the net open there for the shot there from Crystal Dunn.
Here's a look at it as Dunn pushed it into the 18, and then Horner really hugging that near post very tight. As we get a close-up look at the replay on the goal from Dunn in the 55th minute.
There's where she goes really wide left outside the arc, and you can see that Horner is almost on the pipe, and it's way too far right on that shot.
2-2 in the 55th minute. Dunn has got her league-leading 5th of the season. Fields in the flash coming back down the other way. Good shoulder challenge by Reynolds as she battles with Fields. Williams fights for it. Lohman gets it out to Reynolds. And Fields comes in with a little payback of her own and wins a throw-in for the Flash. We'll have our first change of the game. Laura Del Rio will be coming on for the Washington Spirit. She'll replace number 15, Joanna Lohman, I'm sorry. This change in the 56th minute. Del Rio, the 32-year-old, the Spanish international. Some very impressive numbers playing for the national team of Spain. 39 games played, 40 goals. And she is suffering from that right hamstring strain. You can see the heavy bandage on the right thigh of Del Rio, who's on now in the 56th minute. First change of the game. Into the box, the header, and what happened to the arms of Weiss? It was Mewis again.
They did. Yeah.
Far side, Oyster. Hamilton. Hinkle, driven ball. Reynolds knocks it away. Mewis back to Edwards. Washington playing with one less player, Angela Salem, on the sideline, fixing her boots. The header to goal! Jasmine Spencer gets sky high to make it 3-2 Western New York. What a finish.
Amazing that the smallest player on the team got up that high. Nice placement there from Kristen Edmonds.
Wow. First of the season for Jasmine.
Beautiful service coming down the right side there. Edmonds just putting it in the mix. Just looking to get it into somebody, and Spencer gets up real high. I think she climbed a ladder there. Not sure how she got up that high.
Edmonds' first assist. Here's a look at it, Andy. What a great goal. As the two celebrate 3-2 Western New York after a classy finish from Jasmine Spencer. Here it is again. Wow. Hats off to Spencer.
That's put right in the right spot, too, about 6 yards out. Weiss, as the keeper, isn't sure if she's going to come out for the ball. She's going to stay in the line. She's got to make an attack, and it just put in the right spot, and we have a 3-2 game.
Great looks on the replays by our producer, Dennis. Hope you're enjoying his work in the trailer tonight. Always good work from Dennis, as usual. As Flash looking for more. Weiss. Oyster outside. Salem was off the field, actually, on that goal. She was fixing, or maybe replacing her shoes. She's got the white cleats on now, but I'm not sure if that had anything to do with the delivery and the finish, but a good one from Jasmine Spencer. And Mewis snatches it away in midfield. Spins away from pressure. Plays it back to Dahlkemper. Now Edmonds. Mewis. Spencer with some space. Comes back outside the Fields. Her chip is blocked by Johnson, and a corner kick coming up for Western New York.
Well, we know we had the talent, and again, now we're 5.5, a little more than 5.5 games in, and this is where you start making those connections, the things in practice, the things in the games prior to this, where they weren't clicking, they're now going to come through, and the more they play together, the better off this is going to come out for the Flash every time.
Edwards setting up on this near side corner kick, takes a look just to make sure Samantha Mewis is in the box, and she is. They connected in the 35th minute corner kick. Here's Edwards, the delivery. The header, and cleared away as a little collision taking place in the box as well. It was Mewis, and I can't tell who the player for Washington is that went down. And a yellow card being issued to Mewis in the 60th minute. Second card of the game. First one went to Oyster from Washington.
A lot of times you play hard and that's what happens, but I'd rather see somebody come in and play, go for an attack, and sometimes that's part of the game. Watch an English League game and you see about 8 or 9 in every game.
Especially on those balls served from corner kicks or set pieces into the box where there's just traffic and bodies flying all over the place.
It's part of the professional game. It's interesting as you watch, obviously, as a coach, and you see in the younger ages. And people over the years have found out it's a much more difficult and stressful game to be on the field, and especially for people who've never been actually involved in a soccer game, how much contact there can be.
There's a result of that contact as Mewis goes into the book in the 60th minute. And it was Huster who was slow to get up. I'm not sure if it was head-to-head or if it's a leg injury, but the trainer out taking a look at her.
Definitely favoring the right leg. Be tough to lose Tori Huster here. Definitely more of a defensive midfielder presence.
From the looks of it, yeah, she may not be able to continue. Mark Parsons is calling for the sub.
Looks like they're trying to put some weight down on it, but she's having a little bit of problem coming off there.
It's the left leg of the former Flash player, Tori Huster, a 25-year-old. And she gets a round of applause from her former home fans here in Western New York. And looks like they're going to bring Didasco on. I assume it's going to be for Huster. Caprice Didasco.
Where did she go to school?
You name it.
UCLA?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I wonder why you stayed up late all those weekends to watch those games.
It was well worth it, wasn't it?
Nice to have ESPNU.
So Huster coming over to the sidelines. We're in the 62nd minute, a high-scoring affair. 3-2 Western New York with the lead. Huster makes her way over to the bench. And maybe they'll try to stretch it out as Didasco is sitting down once again. So we'll see if she does get the nod. Washington playing with 10 right now. Flash capitalized earlier in the 57th minute when Sahlen came off and replaced the cleats. Now Williams finds Mewis. Oh, and she gets swiped down by Nairn, and she'll go in the book as well.
There's not a question there. Again, it's a good, I don't want to say it's a good foul, a good card, but sometimes Sam takes that spot. I've seen her definitely hit some in practice from outside there, and she gets that rocket going. She's going to put one up in the top corner.
And are we talking a little payback possibly from Nairn for the Mewis challenge against Huster?
Probably not the right spot on the field to do that, though.
Restart coming up for Western New York. Huster still down and in a good bit of pain holding her left ankle. Hopefully nothing too serious for her. Quality player, great person as well. Mewis steps over the ball. Edwards facing the wall. Mewis comes back. Edwards will take a shot. Tipped up and over the bar. Nope, they'll say it hit the crossbar and went over.
Definitely good placement by Becky Edwards there, putting it right on where she needs to be. Kelsey Weiss got up, made sure it was covered that spot. Didn't think he had a touch.
It is Huster who is being the player replaced by Caprice Didasco. Huster has the left cleat off and getting looked at, hopefully, again, nothing too serious for her. So Didasco comes on, her second appearance of the season. As Spencer plays it back to Edwards. Now Dahlkemper.
You're red.
Taylor. Intercepted by Sahlen. Back to Oyster. One times it forward, looking for Dunn. Taylor breaks it up with the header. It's over the head of Edwards. Del Rio. Looking for Dunn.
I don't.
Played it to her feet. Probably wanted that to space.
My color's better now.
DaCosta. Dunn.
I'm going to go with yes. Thank you.
Outside. Didasco. To Dunn. Into space. Nope. Dahlkemper denies it. Good job. Sent forward now for Williams. Hinkle on the far side. 66th minute. Western New York 3. Washington 2. Hamilton, good bit of work. Gets around 1. Mewis wide open in the middle. Takes a touch. Still with it, Mewis. Fields trying to work it to the right side. Through the box and cleared away by Oyster. Still in the 18, Fields. And taken away finally, Didasco. Nairn. Another long ball forward. Dunn gets on the end of this one. Dahlkemper. Taylor chasing her down. Dunn cuts it inside and swiped away by Dahlkemper.
Definitely see more of a free-flowing shape now with the flash. You see the overlaps coming, and the movement is moving much quicker now. They do have a target on Lynn Williams, but now they're looking to get that ball into Lynn. She's getting into the outside and then making all the things happen and a little bit more creating coming on with the flash.
Throwing near side, Kristen Edmonds. Williams, little flick. Looking for Spencer. She ends up with the ball back on her foot. Estelle Johnson will knock it out of play. The throw-in coming up on the near side for Western New York. Don't forget, June 6th, the next home game against Chicago. The undefeated Red Stars, 3-0-2, heading into tonight's game against FC Kansas City. Williams, poked away. And throw-in coming up here for Washington. They'll be home against Boston on June the 6th.
Again, you see the pressure there by Lynn Williams, and the little things make the difference a lot of times, especially when you have a one-goal game and you're going to knock some time off the clock, and just little things like that, keeping possession or grabbing possession from Washington is definitely going to help.
Out of play, throwing for Western New York. Huster on the bench. Ice on the left ankle, elevated. She is off in the 64th minute as the flash have it now. And not sure what the intention was there from Williams, but leads to a goal kick here for Washington.
She turned on the ball. Looked like she was going to think about taking another touch and bring it back to the left side, and then wasn't sure where she had to go with it and just decided to put something out towards the net.
Weiss. Salem over her head, picked up by Hamilton. Battles for it on the far side. Now Hinkle up in the air, winning the header is Del Rio. Almost pickpocketed by Del Rio, but out of play. Throw-in coming up here for Western New York. Entering tonight's game, Seattle, previously with 3 goals scored against Washington, a 3-1 win on May the 2nd. Flash have equaled that number tonight. And we'll see if they can apply some more pressure as Aaron Lyons will go to the bench for the first time this evening. And it's going to be the newcomer checking in. Not until she gets a little more instruction from the head coach.
Definitely going to be interesting to see what Ashley Nick brings to the field. Former Sky Blue player coming over from Houston in the Tony Presley deal. Basically, Tony, just with all the new, heavily younger aged defenders we have, there just wasn't space for Tony to see time. We made the deal and bringing an interesting player in Ashley Nick.
Ashley Nick will be coming on, the 27-year-old now with the 4th official. The first change of the game for the Flash, who hold a 3-2 lead in the 70th minute. Reynolds. Didasco. Reynolds. Back to Johnson. Off the foot of Reynolds, Mewis. Who's she coming in for? Reynolds back to Dunn. Looking for Del Rio. Dunn again wins it. Didasco takes a touch, and time for the Western New York Flash substitution.
Looks like she'll be coming in for
Kristen
Hamilton, number 17.
This change coming up in the 71st minute. Ashley Nick will make her debut with the Western New York Flash. 3 games played with Houston before coming over. No, it's her second appearance, I'm sorry, with Western New York. Forgive me on that one.
She saw a little time in the Kansas City game.
That's right.
Definitely take more of a defensive posture here with Nick sliding into the back and probably playing with only 2 up front now with Hamilton taking the bench.
Kemper's loose ball is picked up by Sahlen. Here's Dunn. She'll have a shot with the left, blocked. Sent forward for Fields. Can't keep possession. Reynolds with a throw-in. Del Rio, Didasco, Reynolds. And we'll call a foul, I guess, behind the play on Fields. Didn't see the contact, but it'll be.
May have been waiting, or the ball.
Restart.
Something on Fields there behind the play. Waited to see if there was any type of advantage, and they didn't get that, so we come back to the original foul.
Nairn with the free kick, a goal and assist tonight for Christine Nairn. Looks up, a high delivery into the box. Horner off her line, gets a punch on it as she goes down. Picked up on the far side to Costa, back to Sahlen. She'll pump another one into the box. Didasco, flag is up for offsides.
I was just glad to see Horner get back up. We could have been on to keeper 4.
Then it's keeper number 4.
Megan Tock.
Megan Tock, the 23-year-old.
Looking at her first pro action, possibly.
From the booth to the field in a matter of, what, 7 days?
Sat next to me last game.
Corner up and okay. Over the head of Nick. And pushed back into the Flash 18. So again, Nick's second appearance with Western New York. After coming over from Houston.
You see that 70th minute substitution from Coach Lines, and if you see enough of the games, you can definitely see that's usually where about the first one is that he typically likes to change the pace there, whether we're up or we're down.
Fields, handball, free kick coming up for the Flash. You know, looking at Ashley Nick's bio, her uncle, former NFL football player, Clay Matthews.
Don't mess with that guy.
Don't mess with him or her.
Don't mess with that guy.
Tough competitor. Strong family.
Got Bruce Matthews in the family, too.
Yeah, Bruce Matthews, that's right. Other uncle.
I swear to God, sir, I'll have her back on time. 7 o'clock, yes, she'll be home at 7:05.
Yeah. Into the box for Williams. Couldn't get a good foot on that one. Have her back early.
Exactly.
Weiss with a goal kick. We're in the 74th minute. Flash with the lead. There's Sahlen looking up. Long ball into space for Didasco. And Edmonds turns on the Jets and wins that race. Out of play, goal kick coming up for Western New York. I'd like to wish the U.S. the best of luck in their next friendly against the Korea Republic on May 30th. They came off a massive win, a blowout win against Mexico, 5-1. Western New York's Sydney LaRue with 2 goals leading the way. In the second game of their send-off series. Sellout crowd of 27,000 fans on hand for that one. Here's Fields and Reynolds continuing the battle. Gets it back to Edwards. Edmonds. He's gonna have to make a decision. She's under pressure, and she'll play it back to Horner. DaCosta wins the header. Nairn goes outside, but no one there for Washington. And Hinkle's called for a foul. In all honesty, I thought it was the Washington player who came in a little off balance on the challenge. Fans not happy with that call, but it'll be a restart coming up, as it was Del Rio who came in and took the worst of that one.
And quickly back to her feet.
Nairn with the restart. Top of the 18, headed away nicely by Nick. Still Nairn, service blocked. Oyster, outside. Crossed into the box, and flag comes up for offsides.
Just a step on the inside.
And Washington not happy with that call at all. And the Flash will go to the bench once again.
Another newcomer.
And this is, in fact, the debut. Elizabeth Eddy, number 20, will be coming on, the 23-year-old. She'll make her debut with the Western New York Flash, as it's going to be Fields who comes off for her. And the second substitution in the 76th minute is it is Fields who comes off, and Elizabeth Eddy comes on.
Definitely a little tough, just a little more defensive shape here with Elizabeth Eddy, also two-sport star, lacrosse player at USC.
Yep, decided to forego the 2014 NWSL season to continue her undergraduate work. And those lacrosse players, no nonsense.
They
Tough
just
cookies.
keep going.
Tough kids. Dahlkemper in the 77th minute. Flash 3, Washington 2.
Looks like you're going to start Eddy up in a high position here, almost sliding it exactly where Jamia Fields was, up on the right side.
She'll get a throw in here and leave it for Edmonds. In the 77th minute. Looking for an option. Finds it in Williams. Williams has to weave in and out of pressure. Reynolds will play it back to Johnson. Dunn. Dahlkemper marking her. Nairn looking up. Looking for Del Rio, the Spanish international. Top of the 18, the one-time shot. Didn't get it up and over the keeper, right at Horner.
Thought she was going to take advantage there. See her pulled out a little bit. She was outside the 6, and she thought she'd maybe pop it. Just didn't get under the ball enough.
Del Rio, who's played in the WPS with Boston and Philadelphia. Most recently spent her time in England with Bristol Academy. There's Williams, a long shot is way off the mark.
Just leaning back a little bit too much. I believe playing a little bit in England, maybe our old friend Pedro Losa, I think, played against them with the Arsenal lady.
Former assistant coach here with Western New York. Good man, Pedro, if you're watching tonight. Hello and best wishes.
Pedro Martinez or Lopez.
Anything else you want to add in there?
No. Losa. Oh, I forgot. I had to get that out there.
It's in my head from your introductions.
I was like that Losa.
Throw in here for Reynolds as she was pressured by Eddy. Dahlkemper, Dunn, coming, and getting the ball. She has been a handful tonight. Dunn looking for the equalizer. Didasco. Should have pulled the trigger earlier. Nairn. Back to Reynolds. Flash can regroup defensively. Didasco a little too slow on getting the shot away. Good swerving ball from Nairn and good anticipation from Brittany Taylor to break it up. Eddy will chip forward for Williams. Heads it to herself. On the chase against Oyster, and Oyster has to quickly knock it out of play. Corner kick coming up here for Western New York. We're in the 80th minute, 3-2. The Flash lead the Spirit.
Great to see referee Elvis Mamatowicz let the girls play there in that last sequence down there with Dunn and Dahlkamper. That's what the high-level soccer is. It's not just the men's, not just at any part of the women's. It's all soccer should be played at that level and should be allowed to play. And again, it's not just where we're going to go out there and a touch is a foul every time.
Edwards being urged to pick up the pace. Here's the delivery. It's a good one. The header! Maybe off the side of Mewis. She just couldn't redirect it on frame.
Sam got up there pretty high, just couldn't get the direction. They did get a bit of a touch, but there were 3 or 4 players there in the mix.
Weiss with a goal kick, 81st minute shots in favor of the home side, 10-7. Headed to Williams. That is definitely offsides coming from that position behind the Washington defense. Johnson on the restart.
Lynn Williams definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. Again, just the speed and the power of the way she moves when she gets loose.
Short to Oyster. Now Nairn. She's been good as well. The long shot from distance off the crossbar. Bounces back out, and it's cleared away by Edwards. Inches away from making it 3-3.
Full extension there from Horner. Still couldn't get up that high. Just perfectly placed shot, just dropping down just off the pipe.
Horner will get this one back into the 18. Dunn pressures her. Goalkeeper's best friend saving the day in the 82nd minute. Low, long punt downfield, headed away by Reynolds. Sahlen. Chips forward for Dunn. Edmonds there first. Corner, right downfield immediately.
It's almost as if the Flash is daring Crystal Dunn to go by us at this point. I'm not sure that's what they want to be doing.
Williams outside for Edmonds. Low cross. Oh, it's behind Spencer and through the box.
Looking for number 2.
Oh, just a little behind Jasmine Spencer.
Just a nice run there down the right side again from Kristen Edmonds.
They connected in the 57th minute and almost again on the replay.
See that ball come through again. Just behind. Spencer getting that motor going again. Just a little step too far, a little step too fast.
It's been a busy month of May for the Western New York Flash. Of course, Women's Football Day today, and then 9 Flash birthdays in the month of May. Andy, who runs the training complex for the Flash, a lot of birthday cakes you had to pick up.
Yeah, a few pounds. But it was good.
With a shot that's not even close.
Yummy.
9 cakes, by the way. Getting back to that. And we can give you a list of players who celebrate birthdays in May. LaRue, D'Angelo, Dahlkemper, Williams, Edmonds, Edwards, Hinkle, Frisbee, and Angeli.
And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. We're still trying to get that birthday present for Sabrina. A ride on an elephant.
Understand, yeah. It's a pretty unique bucket list item.
She's got
to ride an elephant.
Yes, she's got quite a thing for elephants, and she definitely loves them. If you ever meet Sabrina D'Angelo, make sure you ask her what she thinks about elephants. You could be there for a while. Sit down for dinner. You'll love it.
Try to get one into space there for Eddie. Sent back. Edwards. Blocked out of play by Didesco. The 4-year starter as a defender at Andy's favorite university, UCLA.
Accepted but never went.
You sure accepted or just applied?
Accepted.
Oh, okay.
Accepted at 3, but that was one of them.
Reynolds wins the header. Ashley Nick, calm and composed touch Now sent forward for Williams. Eddie. Mewis cuts it back, still Mewis. Left back to right, no call made. She goes down and it's picked up by Weiss.
Left leg went a little bit farther out than she wanted to there and just lost a little bit of her balance. Couldn't get back on.
85th minute. A slim 1-goal lead for Western New York. Looking for their second win on home turf. They're 1-1 coming into tonight's game. Oyster on the far side, pressured by Williams.
I think you're going to see Lynn Williams, too, with every game that we go on, get that form back. She did take some time off to finish her schooling, which was fantastic, but you can see every time she get the high pressure and that she's leading it, almost you can see everybody else wants to follow in her path as well. High pressure all the time and force Washington to make mistakes.
Opened her scoring account in the 11th minute. Number 9, Lynn Williams. Nairn, Del Rio. Plays it behind the overlapping run. And it'll be a throw-in for Western New York. Hinkle to take it. Flicked on by Spencer. Jasmine Spencer, tremendous timing on those head balls. As we talked about, not the biggest player. You're talking height-wise, Spencer coming in at 5'1", but that goal she scored in the 57th minute, the timing was precise.
Are you sure she's 5'1"? I'm just checking.
Hey, you put the numbers on the paper.
Have me do something during the week.
I will say 5'1", if that.
If that.
As she spins and goes out of play off her foot.
A fantastic presence, though, in the locker room. I'll tell you, Jazzy's always a fun one to be around.
Well-deserved goal for Spencer.
I still think I saw a ladder out there.
Will it be the game winner? 87th minute. Flash lead by 1. Taylor shielding it out of play and throw in. And some valuable time being taken off the clock. It looks like they're going to go to the bench. They being the Washington Spirit one more time.
Still like they're giving Crystal Dunn a little too much freedom up top.
Here's Dunn again into the 18. Cuts it back to her left. The shot! Horner makes the save. And as you said that, she gets an opportunity in the 88th minute.
5th save of the night there for Robin Horner. Fantastic start to her NWSL career.
Here's Eddie. Eddie has shown pretty well here in the few minutes that she's been on. A couple good passes, a couple good moves as well. Applying pressure now. Forcing it back. And one here by Edwards. Williams. Nudge off the ball by Estelle Johnson. And a throw-in coming up here for Washington. Caroline Miller, number 10, will be coming on. She'll replace number 13, Amanda DaCosta. Third and final substitution in the 89th minute. Miller, the 23-year-old out of the University of Virginia, coming up top to join Crystal Dunn. Reynolds, Sahlen one time, but no one there but Edwards. Here's Eddie, still Eddie. Flash will take it in the corner here and eat away at the clock in the 89th minute. Throwing for Williams in Western New York.
Very deliberate, getting it back down. Edmonds going to make her way up the right side. Pretending to talk back to the coach. And then we go to another player to pick up the ball. And we've eaten up 32 seconds.
As we are in the 90th minute. Mewis loses possession. Sent forward now. Dunn. She's been a handful tonight. Turns the corner. Keeps it in play. Still Dunn. And Dahlkemper will put an end to that one.
Now you see the Flash dropping 6 back there just in case with Crystal loose.
Throwing for Washington. Nairn. High, long one headed away by Dahlkemper. Sahlen picks up the ball. Handball off the left arm of Jasmine Spencer. Estelle Johnson quick on the restart. Oyster approaching midfield. Try to work the near side. Cleared away, but Nairn and Washington continue to attack. Dahlkemper steps in front of Dunn, and it's deflected off the Washington attacker. As we are approaching stoppage time, it'll be 3 minutes of stoppage time.
Nicely played out there by AD. Just getting enough of a piece there off the Washington player and keeping possession there for the Flash.
Williams just poking it forward, looking to get some valuable time off the clock, but Washington regains possession. Church on the far side. Sends one forward. Dunn over her head. Dahlkemper off her chest and cleared out to the far side. Del Rio in a throw-in for Washington. 3 minutes of stoppage time. Flash lead at 3-2.
They just seem to be giving way too much space now to Crystal Dunn. After all the damage she's already done, she just seems to be too free back there.
Hinkle has done her work on the defensive side tonight. And she won another one. Miller's on sides, takes a touch forward. Dahlkemper tracking back and knocks it out of play. A corner kick coming up here.
Tempting
Scary
the fates.
moments.
Tempting the fates.
And Washington is pushing everybody up into the attack. Weiss at midfield. They'll take a short corner to Nairn. She'll drive one in the box. Headed out by Mewis. Nairn again on the far side, lets it roll out of play. Quick throw into Dunn. She spins. Low cross into the box for Didasco. She'll turn, it's blocked and out of play on the far side. Flash will go to the bench one more time to eat away at this final few seconds. Church, high ball into the box. Headed to the far side of the 18, Didasco. Bodied off the ball by Taylor, and it'll be a goal kick, and that could just about do it here. Kerr now goes back to the bench. She had the sweat top off, and now it's back on. So we'll just cross her name off the substitution list. As Horner gets into this goal kick up towards midfield, but headed back by Washington. Church. On the far side of the 18, Horner will slow it down and push this one forward. Flash looking to get the 3 points and get up to 7 on the season. Williams hustling down the far side. She'll push it to the corner. Eat away at the clock. Oyster marking her. Gets it to Spencer. Spencer, good bit of work. And she'll win the throw-in. Seattle and Boston both with 7 points right now. So with the win, the Flash will go from 9th. They'll be tied with Seattle and Boston at 7 points. Quite the jump.
Great to see those other games come up in a tie.
Boston and Seattle are Sky Blue last night, a 1-1 draw. 2 other games tonight, though. KC and Chicago, Portland and Houston. And that'll do it. The Western New York Flash, in a very entertaining game this evening, come away with a 3-2 victory over the Washington Spirit. Andy, your thoughts on this one tonight?
Well, I thought they definitely played much better. Obviously, when you're coming from 1-3-1, you're going to see, you want to see them get better, but you see the passing, the short game. This is where they needed to connect, and this is where they're now connecting. They're finishing. The last home game in Kansas City, Lynn Williams, 9 chances, no goals. Today, finishing right off the start to get things moving. That is what they needed, and that's where they're going to go. They're going to go nothing but up as they keep connecting there. The more they play together, again, a young group, so many rookies on this team, a brand new, we basically brought it down and rebuilt it around the rest of the team. We're starting over, and this is going to be nothing but positive, I think, going the rest of the way here for the West New York Flash.
So with the 3-2 victory, Western New York now at 2-3-1, 7 points on the season. That brings them level with the 5th place Seattle Reign and Boston Breakers at 7 points. Recapping your scoring tonight, Williams in the 11th minute got us underway for the Flash. 22nd minute, Nairn in the PK made it 1-1. Mewis on a corner kick made it 2-1 for Western New York. And then the 55th minute, Dunn on a breakaway made it 2-2. And the game winner as it stands right now is Jasmine Spencer's beautiful header in the 57th minute from Edmonds to make it 3-2 tonight. The Western New York Flash win it. Next home game Saturday, June 6th against the league-leading Chicago Red Stars. For our producer Dennis and John, Andy, great job filling in for Mike Kerms tonight.
Good to see you, Joe. And before we go, I do want to say Crystal Dunn had a fantastic game.
Yes.
I'll tell you talk about women's soccer, and the person that's going to be one of the leaders coming up, that's going to be Crystal Dunn of the Washington Spirit.
I agree. Well said and a well-played game by Crystal Dunn. That'll do it from Sahlen Stadium for our entire crew. Western New York wins it 3-2 over Washington. I'm Joe Giuliano saying so long from Sahlen Stadium.